Tonight, Paris glows under the city lights. The world expects yet another diplomatic dinner, formal speeches, polite smiles, and carefully orchestrated moments. But wait, something different happened. Something that made Spain stop, wonder, and whisper in disbelief. Because this was no ordinary evening. It was King Felipe, walking through the grand doors of the Élysée Palace with his daughter, Princess Leonor at his side. And waiting to greet them, President Emmanuel Macron. A private dinner. Closed doors. No journalists allowed. And now, Spain is left guessing what really happened inside Paris. The truth of that night cannot be reduced to stiff handshakes or protocol. Because when a future Queen of Spain dines in private with one of Europe's most powerful leaders, every gesture, every word, every silence matters. The tension is not on the surface. It lingers beneath, in questions Spain desperately wants answered. Why was Leonor chosen to attend? What does it mean for her future reign? And what deals, personal or political, were quietly shaped over French wine and whispered conversation? Let's begin where it all started. Earlier that evening, the Parisian streets outside the Élysée were buzzing with curiosity. The motorcade arrived. King Felipe, ever the symbol of calm dignity, stepped out first. And then Leonor followed. Dressed elegantly, poised like a true heir, she carried herself with a quiet strength. Observers noted her presence was no accident, it was intentional. This was not just a royal visit. It was a statement. The Spanish monarchy, through Leonor, was placing itself directly into the European stage. But why now? Why Paris? And why with Macron? Spain has always shared a delicate bond with France, neighbors tied by geography, history, and sometimes rivalry. From the Napoleonic Wars to modern EU negotiations, their paths have been marked by tension and alliance. But this dinner was something more subtle. It was about preparing Leonor, the future queen, to navigate these complexities herself. Yet the secrecy surrounding the event has left the Spanish people restless. Inside, away from the flash of cameras, three figures sat together: Felipe, Macron, and Leonor. No court aides. No press. Just family and power. For Leonor, this was not just another dinner, it was an initiation. Reports suggest Macron directly engaged her, asking about her military training, her studies, and her vision for Spain's role in Europe. Imagine that moment. A young princess, barely stepping into adulthood, being drawn into the gravity of realpolitik. To some, it was thrilling. To others, deeply unsettling. And here lies the first great curiosity loop. Was this a symbolic gesture of trust? Or a calculated test? Because when Macron looked into Leonor's eyes and asked about Spain's future, was he treating her as a guest, or as a sovereign in waiting? The answer matters, because Spain is guessing. Back home, reactions were divided. Supporters of the monarchy saw Leonor's presence as a bold and necessary step. Proof that she is ready to shoulder responsibility, to be seen not only as the heir but as a player in European diplomacy. But critics, they raised eyebrows. They argued that exposing Leonor to such high-level talks, so young, risks dragging her into political games before she's ready. And in Spain, where the monarchy's legitimacy has faced challenges in recent years, the line between symbolism and politics is razor thin. Let us not forget the backdrop: Europe in flux. Economic strains, rising nationalism, the constant balancing act of the European Union. For Spain, aligning with France could be a powerful move, or a dangerous one. So was this dinner about personal mentorship between leaders? Or was it about shaping the future balance of European power? Consider this: Macron, often seen as ambitious and strategic, has long positioned himself as a central figure in Europe's leadership. By inviting Leonor, he wasn't just being polite. He was sending a message. To Spain. To Europe. Perhaps even to the world. That France sees in Leonor a partner, an equal in the making. But Spain wonders, was this honor earned, or was it granted too soon? And what about Felipe? His presence at the dinner was expected. But the decision to bring Leonor was his. As a father, it showed pride. As a king, it showed foresight. He knows her reign will be tested by international diplomacy, by the shifting alliances of nations. But some whisper, was this also a test of loyalty within his own house? Was he signaling confidence in his daughter to skeptics within Spain itself? Or was he seeking validation from abroad, using Macron's acknowledgement to strengthen her position back home? The dinner itself lasted hours. No leaks emerged, only speculation. Some believed topics included defense cooperation, EU leadership roles, and Spain's position in Mediterranean policy. Others suggest the conversation was more personal, about youth, responsibility, and leadership in a changing Europe. But one thing is certain, Leonor was not just listening. She was speaking. And in those private exchanges, she carved a place for herself not just as a princess, but as a figure France, and Europe, must now take seriously. Now, let's open the second curiosity loop. What impact will this night have on Leonor's image within Spain? For young Spaniards, seeing their future queen at such a table may inspire confidence. A sense that she belongs on the world stage, not as a figurehead but as a decision maker. But for others, the secrecy sparks unease. Why are the people left guessing about their monarchy's future role? Why cloak such an important moment in silence, instead of transparency? These questions linger, because monarchy thrives not only on tradition but on trust. If Leonor is to inherit the throne with strength, she must win hearts as well as political ground. And this dinner, while historic, leaves her walking a tightrope. Now consider the emotional weight of that night. Picture Leonor, sitting between her father and Macron. Every movement measured. Every word chosen carefully. She is no longer the schoolgirl the public watched grow up. She is the heir. And in that intimate Parisian dining room, she was stepping into her destiny. For some, this was exhilarating. For others, it was alarming. But no one could deny, it was unforgettable. As the night ended and the royals departed, Paris carried on. But Spain did not. Spain is still guessing. Guessing what was said. Guessing what was promised. Guessing what this means for the monarchy's future. Was this the beginning of Leonor's true political journey? Or just a symbolic gesture, staged for effect? This is the brilliance and the danger of royal secrecy. It feeds imagination. It fuels speculation. And it binds people to the mystery of monarchy, whether they love it or resent it. So where does this leave us? Spain stands at a crossroads. The monarchy's survival depends on Leonor's ability to embody both tradition and modernity. And nights like this, clandestine, charged, and unforgettable, become part of her legend. But they also plant seeds of doubt. One thing is undeniable. That dinner was not about food. It was about future. The future of Spain. The future of Europe. And the future queen who is already learning how to rule, not in public ceremonies, but behind closed doors, where true power is decided. And so the question remains, echoing across Spain, what really happened inside Paris? And will the answers define not just a princess, but a queen?